Hello, it's Tom Donald from the London Contemporary School of Piano. Today I have a 30-day challenge for you. The 30-day challenge with piano chords. So why am I doing this to you? Because I know so many of you are still having some trouble with your chords. You're still not quite sure on the different types of seventh chords. You're still struggling stringing chord progressions together. And there are just some chord shapes that are still just not getting there in the muscle memory. Don't worry, it's totally normal. And the reason for it is a lot of people just don't have the right practice strategies to understand their chords. And they take a very theoretical approach, a very dry approach, a textbook approach. You know, don't get me wrong, I don't mind a textbook or two. There's quite a few behind me right there that are very good. But the problem is, textbooks don't end up in your muscle memory. They don't end up on the piano. And if I just say to you, play me a C sharp major chord, do your fingers actually know what to do? So we're going to have a 30-day challenge here to get the low-hanging fruit and to see some real improvement in your playing. And by the way, if you're a fan of our work at the London Contemporary School of Piano, head on over to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, because you need to get the free resources kit that accompany these videos. And in the free resources kit, there are tons of very, very powerful chord progressions that I won't even be able to get to today that you should be practicing as part of the 30-day challenge. So if you want to be part of the challenge, you've got to get in there and look at the material. So just do it. Teacher's orders. Righto, let's get started. So much I want to cover today, so where do I begin? Let's look at our chord shapes. So if we start with an easy C major scale and we turn them all into chords, we get this. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C major. Easy shapes to remember because they're all white keys, right? So we're going to use that as our blank canvas to figure out the rest of the chords. So I can easily turn C major into C minor, can't I? Just by getting that middle note and taking it down a half tone. I can easily turn F major into F minor by doing the same thing. And I can easily turn G major into G minor by doing the same thing. That's because C major and F major and G major have the same shape. So that means that C minor, F minor, and G minor have the same shape. And I know I'm going quickly, but this is just important background, just to get you started. So, for instance, we've got D minor, which is chord 2 of the C major scale, E minor, which is chord 3, and A minor, which is chord 6. So I can easily turn that D minor into a D major by just lifting the middle note. So I've got D major, E major, and A major. D minor, E minor, A minor. So enough of me talking about it. Let's create some chord progressions for your 30-day challenge. Now that you're clear on those chords, I will just add one little caveat here. The chord 7 was a B diminished. It's a bit of a funny sounding chord, a diminished chord. So that shows us that B is going to have a very different shape. And it is a very different shape, B. That's a B major chord. It's the only chord that has this configuration of a white key and then two black keys, two sharps, D sharp and F sharp. That's B major and that's B minor. Those two chord shapes are an exception. They're the only two chords that have that shape. B major, B minor. So if you run into any of the Bs, you know that you're going to have a different shape. So let's start with a very famous chord progression, 1, 5, 6, 4. You can practice this as part of your 30-day challenge. The 1, 5, 6, 4 progression in different keys. So let's practice it in C major. You can use inversions if you want. But what about in the key of D major? We'd get this then. I'm just gently arpeggiating the chord just to create a bit of musicality to it. You can be quite creative about this. You don't have to do it exactly how I'm playing it. You can use inversions, or you can spin the chord around a little bit more like a ballad style. You can stay on the chord even longer. So I'm going to change things around. I've got an octave in the left hand. What about in the key of E major? The key of G major. Now, before we move on to some other keys, I need to tell you about the shapes on the black keys. Very important, you know this. These shapes are nowhere near as hard as people think they are. In fact, I think the earlier you learn these chords and master them in your piano journey, the better, because they're so important on the piano. So part of our 30-day challenge is to wean ourselves off C major, is to get ourselves out of the world of C major. It was just our canvas to get us started, and then we're out there. We're out there in the real world playing in other keys, because there's so many more things going on the piano than just boring old C major. Don't get me wrong, I like C major. I shouldn't call it boring, but it gets a bit of overexposure. I guess that's all I'm saying. So, D flat major, one of my favourite chords in the whole wide world. D flat major. Every time I sit at a piano and play a D flat major, I just feel so positive. It's just such a beautiful chord. It just resonates with me. By the way, every key and every chord has different vibrations in music. So there are emotional things about this music, about the vibrations of music. It's not just theory. That's why you have to be sitting at the keyboard doing this. That's why a textbook cannot convey the emotions and the vibrations. It just can't do that. So D flat major. This is the shape of a D flat major. You've got the two black keys, the two flats on the outside, D flat and A flat, and then you've got the white key in the middle, the F. That's the shape. The E flat major has the same shape. E flat, G, E flat, B flat and G. A flat, same shape. A flat, E flat, and C in the middle. And another chord that is an exception is G flat. It's the only chord that has this shape. We could also call it F sharp if we wanted to. It's the same chord. In different keys, it will have different names. And B flat major, the other exception. Rather than G flat, which is all black keys, and B flat, which is just one black key, B flat, D, and F. And you can easily make these minor just by dropping that middle note down the semitone. Right? So that's another part of your 30-day challenge, is just get to know these chords. They're nowhere near as difficult as you might think they are. They look a little intimidating on sheet music, with all these flats and sharps and, dots on the page. But if you actually look at the keyboard, like this thing, it's designed beautifully. It's designed perfectly, and it works so well. So let's, so I'm going to play them all as majors there. It's a good little quick quiz to get it. That could be a part of your 30-day challenge, just adding this one to your daily practice. Okay, so now let's do a little bit of a quick chord quiz, and we're now going to play a progression. Chords are 1, 4, 1, 5. It's a very popular progression. It could be classical, it could be pop. 1, 4, 1, 5. It could be Mozart, it could be Van Morrison, basically. So we're going to do it in D major. I'm using some inversions here. E major, same progression. F major. D flat major. E flat major. F sharp major. A flat major. flat major. Now, I was doing a quick fire there. I was going quickly. But as part of your 30-day challenge, stay on one key for longer. You pick your key that you want to do your 1, 4, 1, 5 on, or you pick the chords that you want to loop around and study. You can pick any 4 chords you want. Doesn't even have to be these ones. You pick your chords that you want to look at and you loop them. You loop them around. And you don't have to use inversions like I was doing there. If you feel you're still getting those basic chord shapes, you don't have to add inversions yet. You can do that later. In fact, it's impossible to add inversions to chords you don't really know yet. So don't add inversions if you're not ready. So let's now try a couple of other things. We're now going to turn these chords into major 7s. So what is a major 7 chord? Well, the major 7 chord is, go back to our trusty C. That's the octave. We just drop the top note down a semitone and we get that lovely, lush, we're on holidays right now sound of the major 7 chord. You just sort of walk up the piano, do that, you get your tip jar out, you know, it's proper cocktail, hey? But there's much more to a C major 7 than just cocktail music. It's a chord that's used seriously in a lot of places. So we're now going to do some progressions, chains of chords that use major 7s. So let's practice some together. What about this one? C, E flat, F, and C. I'll do that again. C, E flat, F, C. And now I'm going to turn those chords into major 7 chords. I'm going to go nice and slowly. Here's another progression. D major, F major, G major, D major. Now I'm going to add the major 7s to them all. You can see I'm lightly arpeggiating them. What about F, A flat, B flat, F? Now I'm going to turn them into major 7s. I'm going to go down an octave, give a bit more depth. So there are major 7 chords. Now we also have dominant 7 chords. So dominant 7 chords sound very different to major 7 chords. We drop the top note down another semitone, in this case to a B flat, so it's a whole tone below the octave now. The difference between major 7 and dominant 7 is like night and day. Major 7, dominant 7. On chord notation, the dominant 7 is just notated with a 7, so it's C7. So that's C major 7, notated either with a triangle or with an abbreviation, MAJ7, or with a triangle. Some sheet music does the triangle, often it's jazz. Jazzers put the triangle 7 in, and in pop music you often see it as an abbreviation, C major 7, C maj 7. But the C7, the dominant 7 is just called 7, C7. A bit like how my full name is Thomas, but please call me Tom. Just call it C7. The difference is night and day, and people mix these two chords up all the time, and that's a problem. So part of your 30-day challenge is to really differentiate those two types of chords. We hear dominant 7s C7s and F7s and so on, more in blues than we would, let's say, this is more sort of jazzy or just more decorative, slightly decadent, you could say. But the dominant 7 is more bluesy. So we could call this schmoozy and we could call this bluesy, if it helps you. It's just my own little nickname, that is. So let's do those same progressions, but we're going to throw some dominant 7s on them now to make it sound more bluesy. C, E flat, F, C. Now we'll add the dominant 7s to them. I'm going to change the groove a bit. What about these chords? D major, F major, G, D major. We're going to put the dominant 7s on it. What about F major, A flat major, B flat major, F major? Put the 7s on them. So I was trying some things out of the left hand there, getting a bit far ahead of myself. It's good to just, if there's a particular chord progression that connects with you, just stay there. You don't have to do everything that we're doing today. Part of your 30-day challenge is you have to map it out. You also have to go to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, to get the free resources kit. We also have some fantastic supporting courses that will really transform the way you play chords. For instance, groove. Groove is a big topic here, and we don't talk about groove enough. But that's what brings our chords to life, is groove. So if you're really serious about taking that 30-day challenge further forward, you should purchase our Groove Mastery course for just a mere £25. You can purchase this course. It's such a great investment for your playing. You get lifelong access to it to learn how to bring your chords to life. So the Groove Mastery course just goes perfectly in line with this 30-day challenge. So we've done major 7, we've done dominant 7. Now we're going to do minor 7. And we're going to finish off with a beautiful chord progression written by the immortal Herbie Hancock. His music is stunning. And this is one of my favorite pieces he ever wrote. And it is a masterclass in minor 7 chords, in the lushness of minor 7 chords. And there's only 4 minor 7 chords in this piece. So it's going to be the end of your 30-day challenge, is to play this beautiful progression. And so let's firstly talk about what a minor 7 chord is. It's like a dominant 7 chord, right? You've got a tone below the octave, but it just happens to be a minor chord, not a major triad, like the C7 is built still on a major triad. It's the interesting thing. A major 7 is built on a major triad. The dominant 7 is built on a on a major triad, I should say. And the minor 7 is built on the minor triad. So you've got the 7th at the top and the minor 3rd. Wow, what a sound that is. So mellow, so beautiful. D minor 7 would be this. Yeah? F minor 7 would be this. G minor 7 would be this. Whoa, I just love those chords. I never get tired of the mellowness of minor 7 chords. Music is such a miracle, isn't it? So let's now play these 4 chords in Herbie Hancock's Maiden Voyage, and he adds a little bit of a trick to it to take it to the next level. He does what we call a slash chord, or it's a way of adding extra dissonance to the chord. I'm not going to get too theoretical here, but all it is it just means that the left hand's going to start on a different note to the right hand. So we're going to play an A minor 7, which is a lovely shape here. A, C, E, G is our A minor 7. and we're going to put a D in the left hand instead of an A, and we get this. Let's just groove on that for a bit. I mean, what else do you need? Doesn't that sound so good? So the left hand is starting up a fourth above the root of the chord. Instead of the A, it's starting on the D. Now we're going to go to a C minor 7 and do the same thing. So we've got the F in the bass. Then back to the A minor 7. C minor 7 with the F in the bass. Haha, B flat minor 7 with the E flat in the bass. A flat minor 7 with a D flat in the bass. A minor 7 with a D in the bass. Best of luck with your 30-day challenge ahead. Don't forget to head on over to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, to get the resources kit to support you, and also you should consider getting the Groove Mastery program, which is the perfect accompaniment to what we've been doing today. Or if you're really, really serious about taking your playing to the next level, our flagship course is the Complete Musician program. It's a course that's been running for a number of years now, and it has helped the musical journeys of hundreds, thousands of people across the world. And I'd love you to be one of the next ones on that. It's been a pleasure seeing you today. Best of luck with your practice. Keep up the good work. Have fun with the 30-day challenge. Drop some comments down below in the section. Let us know how you're going. Let's talk to each other. Let's make music. And let's keep it happening.